Sorry, go.
Do Mark Hamill Joker laugh.
That's so good.
That's awesome.
Oh, thank you.
God damn it. Okay, and welcome to the newest episodes running into the new year of BetaBeard. Happy holidays, everybody. I hope you guys had an amazing time. How have your holidays been, guys?
Happy New Year, dudes. My holidays have been
Happy New Year.
been okay. Been able to see friends and family a lot more, so that's really good.
Nice.
Just got my booster shot yesterday, so yeah, get your boosters.
Congrats.
Oh, sick. Congrats.
Yeah.
How have you been, Dino?
Yeah, not bad. Had very eventful holiday. I just stayed with family, so that's it. Finished The Witcher.
Oh, great. Good for you.
I will go right off that and say that I too watched The Witcher for my holidays and truly enjoyed it. One of these days I'll hope to get Bibo, but I know his backlog of things to watch is quite high.
Yeah.
But I'm going to start also by just reintroducing the boys. My name is George Schulze. With me here is the Dean Dashing Rosen and and Alfredo the Bibo Man Reyes. We have an exciting episode for all of you today. We are still in Philippine time, which means that we have not seen Spider-Man No Way Home yet.
Yeah.
The holiday spoiler dodge has been quite intense. I'm not sure how you guys are feeling about it. Have you guys run into a lot of people sharing things? How are you feeling about No Way Home spoilers right now?
I'm not going to spoil it for anyone. Not going to say anything. I've basically seen the whole movie.
What?
I've basically seen the whole movie just from stupid YouTube things popping up and auto-playing. So annoying. So annoying. I'm not going to talk about it.
I was going to say, sorry, not to put you on the spot, but like you barely post on social media. So I'm like, how are you coming across all these spoilers if you're not,
This is one of the reasons that I don't go on social media so much, and yet it follows me like a plague. And it's just because my algorithm is also so limited. It's basically only geek stuff, and that's what geeks are talking about right now. So,
you should should have gotten you should have battened down the hatches on your YouTube recommendations.
I really should.
I really tried, dude. But some people are really like just egregious about it. How how they're posting on Facebook, their YouTube, they're just so unaware. The first world homies, geek homies, who just. Not even homies. Why would I call them homies? The first world trash that decide that we don't care about third world countries that are dealing with COVID and can't have cinemas and don't have No Way Home until January. We're just gonna say whatever we want because we've already seen it.
In the headline.
In the headline, in the thumbnail, everything about it just it's
just log out of your account, dudes.
Yeah, just complete blackout.
All those recommendations.
It's everywhere, though. It's Facebook, it's YouTube, it's TikTok, it's Instagram. It's just everywhere you look, there's just someone who has something to say about No Way Home. But I you know what? This is my episode, and I want to try and make the 45-minute episode time. So I'm gonna just use this to transition into saying, with No Way Home, based on the trailers that were given to us by the movie makers themselves, we know that we're dealing with the multiverse in that to a degree. From trailers alone, you see Doc Ock and stuff. So it's exciting to think about what might transpire.
What?
From trailers, from material that they've provided, from what we're supposed to know going in. That's it. And for those of you who even don't watch trailers, super my bad, but that's not part. That's
on the
not
poster.
Part of
they show it in
it's on the poster. It's there. It's it's nothing we don't know as viewers who have had access to this for a long time.
Yeah. But
I wanted to take that multiverse option and go into a fun topic to kick off the new year that I think all of us are excited about.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be another list episode. BetaBeard lists. List segment. The opinions of three very privileged, cisgendered, white and one not so white.
More like beige.
Beige. Two white, one beige. Man. So the episode we are going to be going into today is kind of what we thought would be a fun spin on that superhero movie list. Normally, when you think of superhero movies, by today's standards, you think of the MCU. And today, we thought it would be great if we did a list of our top 10 favorite live-action superhero movies that weren't part of the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
Just to spice it up and give a difference of opinion. If we still have a bit of time after we discuss our lists for a little bit, we are going to possibly talk about if you added MCU movies in there, how would the list look like or adjust to?
We can just rapid fire.
That's
those
sort of a... Yeah, we can rapid fire.
Our actual top 10 list.
We can make it an actual...
Yeah, most likely dominated by MCU.
But we can make it just like a top 5, off the top of your head fireball thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a lot of options for that.
Let's
I have not
do it.
blinked in a while. That's good. Sorry, this podcast, I'll tell you guys, has shattered my brain because I am one of those podcast hosts who happens to be a blinker.
And now everyone's gonna be looking at it.
Everyone's
all
gonna
right.
look at it now, George.
Everyone's gonna look at it now, and you're gonna see the effort I'm making into not blinking as much. But I'm gonna be proud of my efforts here. So let's kick off the episode. Beta! Let's kick off the episodes of what we're gonna do with our lists. So this is really fun. Top 10 live action non-MCU superhero movies.
Yes.
Who wants to start?
Dean, do you want to go first? You don't? Okay.
No.
I can kick us off.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
Bibo, before you start, I'll discuss the format. You're just gonna give your list. We're not gonna talk about the movies yet.
Yeah.
So give your list from 10 to 1.
Indeed.
After every single pick, just give a second for Dean and I to have our cordial.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, but just let's start it like that. Go with your list whenever you're ready.
All right. Here's my top 10 non-MCU live-action superhero films. Starting with number 10. This was the one that I said was going to be a bit of a surprise. It is a film I love so much. It is called Sky High.
Hey. All right.
Yeah, number 10. We got Sky
Okay,
High.
we can talk about that later.
Yeah. Number 9. George, you asked about this earlier. Blade 2. I have Blade 2.
Nice.
Number 9.
Sick.
Nice.
Sick,
Of course.
sick.
You gotta
Nice.
have the snipes in there. Number 8. We have a classic at this point in history, I'd say. Batman Begins. Starring the Christian Bale. Christopher
fair
Nolan.
choice.
Salvaging the Batman franchise. Number 7. Might surprise you a bit. X-Men. Days of Future Past.
Oh,
Days of
you
Future
know
Past?
what?
Yeah.
And there's a
Doesn't
reason
surprise
for
me,
it.
but-
There's a reason for that, but I'll get into that later. It's a bit of an economical reason. Number 6, we have not this character's final appearance in this list, but it is Timmy B's Batman, a movie that came out the year before I was born and is an all-time classic. Number 5, this is a very me pick, Mr. Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. Starring one Henry Cavill.
I knew that was
Nice.
coming for you, but
Number 5. So we're in the top 5 now. Number 5 is Man of Steel. Number 4, very appropriate for the time right now. Spider-Man 2. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2. Number 3. This is again another very me pick, but it is a very recent superhero movie called Zack Snyder's Justice League. So that's number 3. Zack Snyder's Justice
the
League.
director's cut.
Yes, Zack Snyder's Justice
Zack
League.
Snyder's Justice League.
Zack Snyder's Justice League. And
Yes.
then at number 2, we have what I think is just one of the greatest films ever. And that is Logan. Number 2, we have Logan. And number 1, surprising no one because it is my favorite movie after all.
Dark Knight Rises.
The Dark Knight Rises. Yes, George. Thank you. The Dark Knight Rises.
Aquaman.
A very Anyway.
No, of course. It is 2008's The Dark Knight. That is my top.
Yes. Okay.
Yes,
All right.
yes,
That's
yes.
that was. Your list in my head looked very similar to what you just said.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm not
That's really
surprised
cool.
actually. Yeah, very basic. Very
The Sky High pick though.
That was a good
Sky
one.
High pick.
and thank you for mentioning it. The reason I picked Sky High was because I was stuck at 9, and I was like, I can't figure out what I love more than anything else. That would be my 10th pick, and I was like, Sky High. Like, I love that movie. It's such a wet dream for me. It's such wish fulfillment for to be a superhero in a superhero high school. So, yeah, more than sentimentally, more than every other non-MCU superhero movie at number 10, Sky High for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Awesome. We can discuss more about it. And in my head, I was really thinking: are we going? Do we start with 1 to 5? Because I feel like 1 to 5 will be very similar for all of us.
For sure.
But you know what? I think just going for the 10 to start, and then talking a little bit more about each movie that's kind of stands out in the pack, and then ending and talking about what we loved about our favorites. Right?
For sure.
That's sort of kind of what I wanted to do. Dean, I will go ahead and go next to ride off that momentum of Bibo. I have a top 10 list. And actually, in my 10 spot, when I thought about these movies, oh my god, there are so many films. When you're at that range of like the 6 to 10, all of the honorable mentions right behind them are in similar ranges, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to pick, but I made my criteria based on what is good enough for me that it had that impact when I was watching it that I really remember it. So I think about it when I'm talking about it.
Right.
And my 10 actually is X-Men First Class. I really, really loved the reintroduction to the X-Men series. I have a very special. My favorite superhero when I was a kid for so long was Wolverine, and Hugh Jackman's one of my favorite actors. So, the fact that they First Class came in and brought like a good potential, which was sad, to the reboot. That was cool. On 9, it's an interesting pick. I'm not sure if it's going to be in any of your lists, but in 9 for me, I couldn't help but thinking of Kick-Ass. I actually loved Kick-Ass when it came out in the cinemas. I thought it was really great, and anything that kind of has a little bit of Nick Cage has a special place in
Nick
my
Cage was
heart.
fantastic in that movie.
Yeah, he was great in it.
So you're going with both Kick-Asses then?
No, well...
Oh, wait, no, sorry, Nick Cage. I was thinking of Jim Carrey, who was also fantastic.
Yeah, no.
Kick-Ass too.
Just the first Kick-Ass.
Same thing with me, man. When Kick-Ass came out, if we had done this list when Kick-Ass came out, it'd probably be on there for me. So I get where you're coming from with that. Yeah.
And I just have to get this out of the way. I love Zack Snyder's Man of Steel and Zack Snyder's, but they're not in my top 10, but I love them. They're right there in that range, in the range of what I'm talking about now. For my 8th spot is Days of Future Past, just like people.
Okay.
I love Days of Future Past. I think it's a great movie. On my 7th spot, we have Spider-Man 1, Tobey Maguire.
Spider-Man.
On my 6th spot, we have The Suicide Squad, James Gunn's The Suicide Squad.
Wow, okay.
Cool.
Very recent.
It's actually made it on there. Very recent. I had such a blast watching that movie, and I think the cast, the cast of the original Suicide Squad, I always thought there was some potential there, especially with Harley. And they did Harley justice. I thought they did her enough justice in, is it called the Curious...
The Birds of Prey. Yeah.
Birds of Prey, the
fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn.
Exactly.
I'm pointing at my Blu-ray of the Suicide Squad right now. This is right there.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Yeah. Ooh, it's fantastic. And I love how for this list you're wearing your Avengers shirt just to show that, at the end of the MCU rules off. So, right under the Suicide Squad at number 5, we have Batman Begins.
Nice.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Batman Begins. Really love Batman Begins. And then in number 4, we have Deadpool. First Deadpool.
Oh, why didn't I think of that? Anyway.
Why didn't I think about it? The first Deadpool, I thought groundbreaking.
For sure.
For what it did.
I thought of it for my number 10. It's just that on rewatches, it's it doesn't...
Yeah.
I still love it, but it doesn't hold up quite as much for me. But It's interesting to know that it's your number 4, Joji.
Yeah, it's my number 4. I really love Deadpool, and this is all just based on when I thought about what did I really love watching enough to like get a Blu-ray copy and watch it over and over.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Deadpool is on that list. I really love Deadpool, and moments of Deadpool 2 I really enjoy too.
Yeah.
Like the when he says hi, that whole running joke between him and
Yeah, what's
Bibo
it?
help
Yeah,
me
that
out
girl,
here.
yeah.
Just like
I can't remember.
Hi, Kate. Hi, Lee.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I love that dude. So for number 3 we have Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
Okay.
And Bibo at 2 and 1 for me. That's why I wanted to say this and go next, because our 2 and 1 are exactly the same. My
Right,
number 2,
right.
Logan. My number 1, The Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight Rises.
No,
yes.
the Dark Knight. The Dark Knight is my number 1. On there.
Nice.
Then there it is. Okay,
Unsurprising.
That's my top 10.
This is why I said when I said we'd probably have 2 in common for the most part.
Yes.
Those are the 2 that I was talking about. So
Same.
yeah.
But Dean
Nice.
Dean apparently has a special surprise for his number 2.
Well, yes. Okay. Now that you've mentioned Deadpool, that's just going to be my honorable mention because there is one movie on this list that you may dispute is a superhero movie. So if that is disputed, then Deadpool is, I guess, it's somewhere there. I can't place it right now. Okay, but it's somewhere in the top 10. So my number 10 is The Mask.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I
Very good.
freaking love that movie. I'll talk about it later if you
man.
guys want. But
All
yeah,
right,
I love that movie.
please. I love the cartoon.
I love
and I
everything
remember the
about
movie
The Mask,
lived up
yeah.
to the cartoon.
Yeah,
That the cartoon
very
is
different.
One of the
Stanley
things
Ipkiss.
that I always recall, because my dad brought his drawing table home right when he was still a traditional animator, and The Mask was one of the ones that it's very vivid memory of him animating some scenes of The Mask. So it was Kronos.
The Mask TV show. That's amazing.
Yeah, most of the Cartoon Network stuff from the 90s.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Philippines was responsible for a lot of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And
Phil
a lot of
Cartoons.
that beard. Yeah.
Phil Cartoons, which was the Hanna-Barbera animation studio here in the Philippines, was the biggest animation studio in the world at the time
Yeah.
when it was here. So
A lot of the things
yeah,
that we
yeah,
all
but-
grew up with.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Beebs, but when in those times when you were they credited? Wasn't it sort of like an under the table type deal that it's like, oh, we're gonna say we animated it, but
yeah, it
we're
was
really
just
gonna do all the work.
all under Hanna-Barbera. They didn't. It was still an outsourcing. Like Phil Cartoons was still, I think, a separate entity.
People have no clue.
Not like these days. Like you look at the opening credits of One Piece, and there's so many Filipino names that pop up before every episode. Alfredo Reyes the third.
That's-
Apparently, my son animates One Piece. His name shows
Oh
up a
my
lot there.
god! I love
Nice.
that, dude.
Cool.
Dino,
Hopefully
okay.
we can talk about that in a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just rattle off my list and then we'll talk about everything.
Love that 10
'Cause
pick.
I
I
would-
consider him superhero.
Same.
right here.
Awesome.
Even though he's a piece of
Awesome.
shit,
For it.
but let's go.
I'd love
Yeah.
to, exactly. I'd love to
Yeah.
to talk more about The Mask. But my number 9
Yeah.
pick, I'm surprised that it was in nobody else's list. And probably there's a good reason for that, but it is Richard Donner's Superman.
Right.
I love that movie.
Dude, this is the moment where I go. Right. Of course.
Yeah.
And I also love Man of Steel. It would have been one of my honorable mentions. I think we're amongst, sort of, the people who we all seem to agree on Man of Steel. But anyway, which is rare among geeks, to be honest.
It's in that range. It's all in this range.
Yeah.
This
I have a
6 to 10
very
range.
specific reason for Man of Steel, and by association, Zack Snyder's Justice League, which I'll get into later. So
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll get into that later. So where am I? Number 8.
number 9, yes, you're at number 8.
Number 8 is The Suicide Squad. With
Oh,
emphasis on the. Interesting.
Yes.
Right?
Nice.
Number 7, just one up higher from both of you, is X-Men: Days of Future Past. I think we all, we all have a similar.
I have
love
Days
for
of
that
Future
movie.
Past at 7, so you have it at 7 as well.
Oh, I do.
That's
Cool.
good. So we have it in the same
I have
range.
mine at 8.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
mine
We have it
at
in the
8.
same range.
Number 6, Wonder Woman. When did it come out?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2017.
Interesting.
The 2017 Wonder Woman, which is DCEU's kind of sort of.
I'm pretty sure
that would have
George
made
and
my
I-
list if it weren't for the CGI ending.
That's what I was gonna. George and I have like, I think George and I both have like specific reasons for why we left that movie off in particular of the list, but different reasons, like different from one another, as to why.
Interesting. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Number 5. This is the one that you guys might dispute. This is my 5th favorite superhero movie. Is it a superhero movie? It's The Mask of Zorro.
Okay.
Freaking this is what awesome movie.
Okay. I love The Mask of Zorro.
Is it a superhero movie? He doesn't have powers. He's the hero on which Batman was based. So,
by that token, I'll allow it. I think it counts.
If it doesn't count, then Deadpool's in there somewhere.
That's definitely one of those movies from my childhood that when you always go, I really got to rewatch that. I got to see it again, but I never get around to it.
It holds up. I watched it recently. It's fantastic. It's like a really great pulp action movie.
Yeah.
Brilliant choreography, cinematography, storytelling, everything.
Okay, all right. You have sold me. I'm gonna watch it. It was too big a part of my childhood. I didn't even think of it. Very clever.
Okay, so number 4.
So I'll change my 10 to Princess Bride. Then.
See, this is why. But if that's
Mask
not
of
allowed,
Zorro, I'll count that. I won't dispute you on that.
So number 4, I believe. Am I on number 4? Is
yes.
Spider-Man 2, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2.
All right. Exactly the same as me, and George has it at 3.
Yes.
I have it at 3. Yeah, I have it at 3.
My
Spider-Man 2.
Number 3, no surprise to anyone, is Logan.
Okay,
that's my number 3.
Okay.
Which is why
this is what I've been waiting for.
Which is why the number 2 is the only surprising one. Which is number 2 is Tim Burton's Batman.
Okay.
Yeah, very. Still really resonates with me, that movie. And then number 1 I'll give you 3 guesses what it is.
The Dark Knight Rises.
It's The Dark Knight Rises. No, it's actually The Dark Knight from 2008. Yeah. So there. That is
great. You know what? First thing I'll say, going off of our number ones. You know what? Here's let's do it like this. Since we're gonna go, just so we're not like all over the place. Let's go by number, but like what we each have at that number.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Cool. So 10. So what's your 10? What's your 9?
Sure.
But to go off The Dark Knight, I gotta say, you know who rolls his eyes so hard whenever I proclaim that it's just the best, no matter, like, it hasn't been topped yet. It's just such a seminal movie. It's so fantastic. It's amazing. My dad is such a Dark Knight, like, naysayer.
Oh, really? Wow. Interesting.
Not that he doesn't enjoy it and that he doesn't like it, but he's just like, oh, because it's so uncomic booky. It's so, and he obviously, like, he's such a, for him, Michael Keaton is Batman, period, hard stop. Yeah. And like, and to another degree, like Adam West, like holds such a significant place in his heart as far as Batman goes. And I'm just like, but it's the best. Like, you just it's the Dark Knight. It's the freaking
just
Dark Knight.
Just structurally, it's the best. There's so many things.
But it's not to say that Christian Bale is the best Batman, and that's what makes it
Yeah. I agree.
The best Batman movie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Same.
But
agreed.
I think that it's the it's so tired to say this, but it is, for me, it's the Godfather of superhero movies, because in the same way that Godfather really laid down the structure and the character development, the standards of character development that you put into the kinds of characters that you see in mob movies, the kinds of characters that you see in crime thrillers, that same kind of standard that you hold up to the villains of movies and the structure of superhero movies and how complex and how grounded they can be. The Dark Knight.
Yeah, you can make an argument that people like Killmonger were the care put into making him such a great villain is inspired all from the Dark Knight.
I think a lot of definitely it raised the bar for like how you, and arguably I think some people's legitimate argument for why the Dark Knight might not be the as great as everyone says might be that that it was so focused on the villain. that maybe Batman. But I would argue that it's a trilogy. Batman was established in the first movie, which was also an honorable mention, but didn't make my list.
Yeah.
And I think his arc and his motivations were so clear in the first movie, and it is the next chapter of that story, and I think it's brilliant that it focused on the villain and fleshed out the villain so much.
Apropos of nothing, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Godfather is the first film franchise to have sequels that had the same title. So it's the first blank part 2 or blank 2 of any.
I didn't realize
movie.
that.
Previous the convention before, apparently I might be wrong, before The Godfather was to just make a sequel, but it's a different a whole different title.
Yeah, like books, I suppose. That's interesting.
Yeah. So there's
it was, I believe, before Rocky, the first. Because I know that Rocky was as well, but I think it was also the first movie where both the original and the sequel won Best Picture. But I might be wrong about that.
That is awesome.
Rocky also has that honor. And I don't know which was first, but yeah. Cool.
Okay, so let's go. let's pick apart each other's lists then.
Yeah.
You know what? Now that after saying that, do you guys want to go by number, or do you just want to pick out things that stand out for each of us?
I think let's start with things that stand out.
Right.
And then we can go by each one we have in common and then just discuss it.
Right.
But
Cool.
I want to start with Sky High. I really want to start there. So
did you guys see it when it came out?
What that's
I
about.
did. I saw it when it came out, but I haven't seen it
Sky
since.
High is the superhero school, right?
Yeah.
The kids in a school. Man, you know what? I watched it when I was younger, but I can't honestly say that I remember it.
Oh my god, it resonates with me so much. Freaking what's his name? The guy got to start there, Taylor Lautner.
Wasn't that like Shark Boy and
he was Shark
Magma
Boy
Girl,
and his name
was that a spin-off movie from Sky High or something?
No, oh god, no. Don't even suggest that they're sharing the same universe, George. But I love his character's name in Sky High. His character's name is Warren Peace. First name Warren, last name Peace. Because his dad was a superhero and his mom was a supervillain.
That
why his name is
that is so golden age. I love it.
It's so good.
It.
It's
Warren Peace.
What's her name? Adrian Palicki is there too. Mary Elizabeth Winstead just captured my heart with that movie. Bruce Campbell is in there.
That's right. Oh my god,
he's the gym teacher,
the coach.
How can you go wrong with there are more than one movie in this list that have Bruce Campbell in it?
Yeah.
Linda Carter is the principal of the superhero school. It's just such a love letter to really campy superhero stuff, but then it subverts it too because there's one character who his power hasn't manifested yet. It's I just love it so much. It's such wish fulfillment by the end of it. Everything just works out so well for the. Oh no, it's the main character. Everyone, because his parents are the best superheroes, basically Superman and Superwoman, and his powers haven't manifested yet, and it's time for him to go to superhero school. So he has to pretend that he has some type of ability so he has to fake it. It's just great. It's a fun, light, coming of age, comedy that is about the superhero school, and it does it really. Well.
I just spent the holidays with my nieces and nephews, and the next time I see them, I'm gonna just bring a copy of that movie, and I'm gonna watch it with them.
Let's see if
that's
it
gonna
resonates
be fun.
with the children of today who are so.
Let's see. But I'm curious, also because I want to watch it again. You've excited me about it.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I want to see Bruce Campbell and Linda Carter in the same movie. Are you kidding me?
I will. You know what, George? I'm going to bring up First Class because I said when I mentioned, because you have both, you have both First Class and Days of Future Past on your list, right?
Yep.
We all have Days of Future Past on our list. The reason, as far as, obviously, aside from Logan, the reason Days of Future Past is the only X-Men movie on my list is because it's my favorite of the X-Men movies. I'm actually surprised none of us have X2 on our lists, because if you're gonna
X2
go,
is right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was choosing between X2 and Days.
If you're gonna go on which is the best film, perhaps besides Logan, it's probably X2, X-Men United, which is such a dumb name for such a good movie.
And correct me if I'm wrong. Is that movie written by David Hayter?
He's one of the writers. Yeah. He's one of,
Wow.
Either that or the first one. Either that or the first one. So
there are no nano machines.
But yeah, that's the reason, because I love First Class too. I love X2. I love First Class. But like, as far as it's my favorite, I won't say it's the best movie, but as far as the ultimate X-Men movie, I think that has to be Days of Future Past. The way it was such a magic trick, the way Bryan Singer brought together both casts of the franchise and just like played with all his tools. It was so good.
How he convinced you that Tim Patrick absolutely looked like an older version of James McAvoy. And you saw them together and you're like, wow, Patrick Stewart, Tim Patrick. Oh my god, Tim Patrick. What was I say? Patrick Stewart. Wow, that was a brain fart. Can you like beard me? I'm so embarrassed.
Don't give me more work, George.
Like Tim Patrick. Like
it's not a sin that you got Sir Patrick Stewart's name wrong, George.
Yeah. You know what? Let me just full James Corden it and fight with him on an award show. Have you guys seen that video? It's so hard to watch.
James.
Oh my goodness. Have you seen that video?
No.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. And that was real. That was like not like a stage thing. They had a proper like hissy fit like slapping.
Well, as much as two British men can, I suppose.
Two established British men can. James Corden was straight up like, I think everybody would like it if you just died. Get on with it was so bad, dude. He was just so bad. Anyway, Sir Patrick Stewart. I'm so sorry, Sir Patrick Stewart.
And you know what?
I say that because James Corden's such a pet peeve of mine.
You know what?
Not a James Corden guy.
Sorry, Dean. Before we get to what stands out to you, I also want to say already, I'm surprised that I loved the Suicide Squad so much. It's probably, I would say, is the best DCEU movie. Well, you know what? No, I do think Zack Snyder's Justice League is the best DCEU movie. I will fight people on that. But aside from Zack Snyder's Justice League, I think the Suicide Squad is the best one. But I don't know. I think because as much as I love it and as fantastic as it is, it's just that because we've seen Guardians, like we know that it's just Guardians in the DC universe, which is great.
Suppose, yeah.
But
I do love that about it. You know what I mean? I love how you can really tell the signature of
James Gunn.
James Gunn, yeah.
Freaking weasel, dude. So good. That's ridiculous. Weasel. So I'm just gonna finish off on First Class here and say, Beebs, you're absolutely right. I was deciding between X2 and First Class. And I don't think I would have gone with First Class if X3 hadn't left such a bad taste in my mouth.
Right.
You know? Like, X3 left such a bad taste, and Dark Phoenix is one of my favorite characters.
By the same token, Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix, I mean...
Yep.
I have to say, can we just talk about Dark Phoenix for a second? Because I know we have our top 10 to look at, but I just want to go into... I was so disappointed with that movie simply because it made the same mistakes as X3. Which is like...
Yeah. The same...
unprecedented. Honestly, unprecedented.
It's like your redemption chance.
Yeah. It's like I thought Amazing Spider-Man 2 was repeating the same mistakes. But, like with introducing three villains by the end.
Yeah.
But it was nothing compared to like beat for beat the same, almost exact same story as X3, which is not the story of Dark Phoenix. And... like what amazes me so much about the movie is that it could have been in Days of Future Past, but I think it was in Apocalypse that they mentioned that, spoiler alert, for X-Men Apocalypse, I believe, the Hellfire Club was dead or something randomly.
Okay. I don't remember,
But
but probably, yeah.
They established the Hellfire Club in First Class so well, and then in Dark Phoenix they don't even fucking mention. Sorry, Bearding mentioned them.
We don't censor fuck. It's fine. Say fuck as much as you want.
Sorry, it's like they don't even mention the Hellfire Club, and oh my god, it's just like yeah, it's like the thought process behind Dark Phoenix was, if we put in aliens, then it'll fix everything. That was like the thought process, you know.
This frustrates me so much because I appreciate your commentary and your thoughts, and I appreciate what you're saying, but this is not the episode where we talk about the movies we don't like. And I want to make my timer.
Sorry. Let's go.
We'll talk about that in another episode, I promise you. But like, great points. It's the exact same plot.
But Dean,
I'm going to talk about First Class.
Oh, okay. Sorry, George. Go. I thought we were done with X-Men.
No.
Okay, First Class.
I'm just gonna finish and say that I picked First Class on here because of the memory it gave me of when I lost so much hope in the X-Men franchise, which I truly loved because of X-Men 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. And the memory of going into First Class thinking, oh, what's this gonna be about? Like, how are they gonna reestablish the X-Men, and feeling so happy that, like, wow,
yeah,
that was really great. I really enjoyed that, and I'm so excited for this new wave of X-Men movies.
Absolutely.
And that feeling alone was what landed it in the top 10 for me over
you know what,
X2,
George?
which is a fantastic movie.
I think it deserves its place in a top 10 and your top 10 now because I remember last thing on First Class, when it first came out, people were like, oh, they did a Dark Knight to X-Men. That was the takeaway of people. It's like the X-Men's Dark Knight. So
Jesus, Magneto was perfect.
He was. I mean, he is.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he is.
Like the way they like Magneto's story, and Magneto was one of my favorite supervillains of all time as a kid. So just doing justice to Magneto, and did he look good in that helmet or what? Like, what a man! Beautiful man. Beautiful.
Yes.
All right, now Dean, where are we talking about the Mask a little bit? Is that where we're going to now?
I'd love to talk about the Mask, man, because it's very okay. So, for those who don't know, the Mask is based on a series of graphic. I don't know if they were actually in comic book form. Were they monthlies?
I think so. Yeah.
They could have been monthlies, which was extremely different from the movie. Like super different. They were very, very dark. Like eldritch, violent, you know.
Yeah.
So it was very, very daring for them to actually go for something, because this movie isn't The Mask, the movie. This movie is 90s Jim Carrey, the movie. Right? It's like this is somebody wrote a movie specifically for Jim Carrey for him to show all of his chops, like music, all of his comedy, all of his characters and stuff like that. So rather than it being like an adaptation of the graphic novel, which, you know, I haven't actually read the comics, so I don't know how good or how entertaining they are. But rather than an adaptation of those, it puts forward a very interesting fantasy for me, which is, what if this super hyper Jim Carrey from the 90s was a superhero? And that to me is just such an awesome, and it just led to the most amazing set pieces, musical numbers, situations. You know, it ends, I mean, I know a little bit about the comic where Stanley Ipkiss, who is the protagonist of the film, gets the mask, and it does follow some of the same beats as that story. So the ending is a lot more grounded than, you know, the rest of the movie, which was all crazy. And then right at the end, it was like, you know, spoiler alert for the Mask 90s movie, a mob boss gets his hands on the mask, and that's the sort of final third of the movie. But bless you. But it's just, for me, it's just like, it's just such a good time from beginning to end. I can watch that movie anytime. And yeah, I'm a huge fan of it.
two things for me about The Mask. I love The Mask. I haven't seen the movie in a long time, but I love the cartoon, and I love everything about it. I love the concept. I love his look. That color green is my favorite color. What my first thing about The Mask is Stanley Ipkiss is just the name for the put upon middle class dude who has nothing going for him in his life. Is just tormented by the implications of his existence. He's just like Stanley Ipkiss.
I know, it's such a great
name.
Wasn't it his like counselor or something that said it a certain way?
Exactly,
like,
yeah.
Oh, what's his name?
I forget.
Yeah, something like
something
that.
like that.
Cartoon.
And my second thing about The Mask is, Dean, you must really have a thing for masks because you have The Mask and The Mask of Zorro.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And 90s movies, you know. So
yeah. I want to talk about Wonder Woman actually, as to why George and I didn't include it. I love it so much, but I you know what? I take it back. I think it is for the same reason. It is that third act and how everything wraps up with Ares and stuff. But I don't think it makes me gag as much as it does George. Because I remember George, when it first came out, you were like, oh,
I was so bad. I was having the ride of my life until that part.
Yeah.
That's like, I have to admit, it was so good.
Yeah.
It is good. Yeah. It's a great movie. It's just why, like, what an unnecessary.
I have to admit, they really dropped the ball with that final confrontation. Just in terms of how the plot threads came together, could have easily gone another way. And I just feel like it was somebody poking their finger into it. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, but you know, for me, that's absolutely a genuine problem with the movie. But I just love so much the other, you know,
and it's pretty high up. Dean, it's at number 6 for you. So I'm wondering why you like it more than Suicide Squad, more than Superman, notably.
I think for me, I'm a real big sucker for World's Finest. I have to say, personally, I know that I'm not sure how you guys lay on the spectrum, but growing up, I was such a diehard DC fan.
Same.
Yeah, really, DC monopoly, just simply because of Batman the Animated Series. I wanted to see everything that came from that universe. And everything, you know, in the Justice League, which was also
Justice League Unlimited, man.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Bruce Timm and Paul Dini also did that show. And it was just it's just my introduction, basically, to the greater universe of super beings, right? But the World's Finest has always been Batman, who's always been in the spotlight, Superman, who's sometimes been in the spotlight, and Wonder Woman, who's almost never in the spotlight. And there's a hunger in me once in a while to watch an awesome Wonder Woman something. But apart from the 2009 movie, which was disqualified because we're not doing animations, for those who are like, where's Into the Spider-Verse? Where's Mask of the Phantasm? We're not doing animations this list. Like, the only real things that I have to watch apart from, you know, Justice League and Justice League Unlimited is the 2009 Wonder Woman movie and the 2017 Wonder Woman movie. Yeah.
I
do prefer
Bloodlines. Bloodlines was really good too. I was surprised by how good it was.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Isn't that what you? Oh, it's 2000. Yeah, no, sorry. I thought that's what you meant by 2017. I forget. It came out pala like 2019 thereabouts. But
I should watch it.
It was in part of the animated universe thing with the one that culminated with Justice League War, but surprisingly, it's one of the better ones in that because they really screwed the pooch with a lot of the Batman stuff in that universe. But
yeah,
Wonder Woman Bloodlines, features the villain is Silver Swan, real good, really good.
Cool. Yeah, I should watch that. But yeah, it's basically one of those things. Batman is an archetypal. It's like Batman is the Wraith. He's an archetypal thing that we love to watch over and over again. You know, like, for example, the Punisher is the anti-hero. There's very few, you know, sort of things that fulfill the same fantasy as watching a Punisher story. as an example, there's very few things that fulfill the same fantasy as watching a Wonder Woman movie, where she just does good things for the sake of, good and for her principles, and that there's this ancient backstory behind her, that she comes from Greek myth, which classical, antiquity is also something that I'm really geeky about, and I love ancient Greek mythology and ancient Greece, and so there's really a hunger in me to watch something like that over and over and over again, and that's why it's one of my favorites.
George, you had Batman Begins pretty high up, man. Like I had it at number 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I had Batman Begins at 5.
Number 5, yeah.
Yeah. It just, and before I begin on that, I'm gonna say this, and Dean, forgive me. It's sports. I was thinking about who the fuck is Tim Patrick. I was wondering, like, why the fuck did I say Tim Patrick? And it's because I'm in a fantasy football league, and Tim Patrick is the backup wide receiver of the Denver Broncos. He's just like way back in the line, that I had to research a lot about him because I had to see if he could provide a filler slot for me. And I looked it up now. I couldn't get it out of my head. Who the fuck is Tim Patrick? And I'm like, I fucking replaced Patrick Stewart with this random back of the bunch sports football guy? Sorry, Tim Patrick. Not that you're watching our... but hey.
Yeah. He's
I had to sort that. I was so bothered by it. Anyway, Bibo, yes, you're right. Batman Begins is quite high up for me. And I'll go into one of the things that frustrates me most about the Batman universe is that why can't they just decide where they want to go with Ra's or Ra's al Ghul?
Yes.
Why can't you just decide it canonically where you want to go? Like, you're in the same... You have access to all the same people.
I don't think
decide.
I don't think we need to point the finger of blame to anyone else or anything else but Christopher Nolan and Batman Begins. I think that was the only one. That was the only thing that
was the first time.
Pronounced it Ra's. And it just stuck because of how big the movie was, right?
I'll admit, it sounds good.
It does sound
Ra's al Ghul sounds good. Like, I actually prefer that to Ra's al Ghul.
Same,
I've known him as Ra's. When it was Ra's, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think just, my God, Liam Neeson. Just the cast, the combination, Christian Bale meeting the expectations. Even this Batman, with the
the no neck,
and the no neck, just having to move his whole body, and then them addressing it in the next movie.
Yeah,
I think everything about Batman Begins for me just absolutely gave me everything I wanted in a Batman origin story, and set up one of the best trilogies of all time. And I only say that because the first 2 movies, I found them so good that even if I didn't love the third movie, I still consider it one of the best trilogies. Yeah. Because the Nolan Batman trilogy, it's iconic, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, Batman Begins set up such an amazing foundation. I will say, though, that I am not the biggest fan of... what's her name? Who played...
Katie
Holmes.
I'm
spacing. Katie Holmes, thank you. Oh my God. Katie Holmes, I don't know why they chose her for the project. I was never really the biggest fan of Katie Holmes.
Yeah.
But, she whatever. The project was great. Everything about Batman Begins. I would actually want to focus more, though, instead of talking about Batman Begins, because we kind of all have that. Did Dean have Batman Begins?
I didn't, but it's definitely a honorable mention for me,
And then Bibo had it at 8.
I had it at 8.
Sorry.
Yeah,
going I want to talk about Deadpool, actually. But after, go ahead, Beeps.
No, so yeah, let's go into Deadpool. But I wanted to mention also, I am a little offended. A little surprised, a little offended. But I'm the only one who has Blade 2 on my list.
I was, you know what? I was so close to putting it on the list. I was so close. Because Blade 2 is awesome. Guillermo del Toro, man. A lot of people don't realize
GDT.
It's directed by him.
Okay, here's a confession.
Oh no!
I've never seen a Blade movie.
What?
Really?
You're joking?
Any of them?
What?
You're joking?
I've never seen a Blade movie in my entire life,
dude. You gotta see them all.
It's not for the lack of wanting to see them, because I dig it. Like, I love Wesley Snipes. I love vampires. You know, everything about it's like great. Sign me up. I just never watched it as a kid, and I just never got around to watching it as an adult.
You know what?
Oh my god! Sorry,
So I've
Dean.
never
gotta
seen
watch
the Blade
them all.
movies. No, it's okay.
You gotta watch them all for different reasons.
Dean, if you
though.
want to shift your round robin reco to Blade,
Oh my god, if I knew that you hadn't seen Blade, I would
Same here, man. Jesus Christ.
You gotta watch them all for different reasons, right? You gotta watch Blade 1 because first of all, it's the granddaddy of rated R comic book movies.
You know what? No, I was gonna say the granddaddy of like the modern comic book movie period. People say Spider-Man, but they forget that like Blade kind of did it first. It's just that the fact that it was a comic book character was super understated when Blade came out. So it wasn't like, oh, this is the new
so
superhero
the Blade
Blade.
movies aren't like cheeky good. They're actually really good.
Okay,
Depends on which one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go,
The
dude.
first one is like a 90s classic. Like if you remember movies from the 90s, it has all of those tropes, but in an amazing way. And in a way that it's like not...
You just love it.
Yeah, it's just a celebration of the 90s, right?
Yeah. Have you seen
Blade
The Crow,
2.
George?
Yeah.
Have you seen The Crow?
The Crow? That sounds so familiar.
God
Brandon
freaking
Lee.
damn it!
Is it
What
a
are we-
movie of the 90s? Is it
Yeah.
is it a 90s movie also?
Well, 80s, late 80s, probably.
No,
or like,
I've
no,
not
early
seen The
90s.
Crow.
Yeah, early 90s.
Yeah.
Let me
93, I think.
Google it, and then let's see if it rings any nostalgia.
Oh my god!
Brandon Lee, dude.
Oh my God.
Brandon Lee.
Yeah. Anyway, if you're like The Crow, I was gonna say if you've seen The Crow, that's like a very close comparison to the kind of like the vibe
1994 film.
of the first
There you
Blade.
go.
So those two movies share a lot of DNA. Anyway, sorry. On to Blade 2, Dean. That was
Blade
such a
2.
failure of a comparison on my part.
No. I totally get it. It's just that George hasn't seen it either.
No.
But Blade 2 is awesome. It's everything that you expect from Guillermo del Toro, where he just takes what Blade 1 did and just messes with it in the most imaginative way
So
that
good.
you can. It just adds a lot to the formula with production value, with production design, and it's sort of a celebration of the 90s like Blade, but it more stands on its own and it more holds up now because it's of its style. Guillermo del Toro's style and flair can really be seen in the movie. And then you should watch 3 because stay tuned for our next episode.
Yeah. No, it's funny. I brought up Spider-Man, right? A lot of people point to Spider-Man being the one that really broke through, and X-Men, but like Spider-Man is like the origin story, all of that. The trilogies of Blade and Spider-Man are so similar in that the first one is great, but really of its time. The second one is just so good, and the third one is the example of a bad superhero movie.
Yes. Absolute. It's like it's just it shares a lot of the same problems as well, where it tries to go so big. It's so sad how far it falls.
The lamest it brings in Dracula, the big kahuna of vampires, right?
Yeah.
And does him so dirty you would not believe.
I just gotta
The
quote
only
it
thing I
once.
know about Blade Trinity, right?
Yeah.
Is the only thing I know about it is that people made a deal out of Ryan Reynolds shirtless again.
Yeah, of course.
That's
That was-
Shit.
I think
that's all
that's
I
when
remember.
I think that's when the V shred started. That's when the whole
Oh god.
That V-taper look, the Hollywood.
Yeah.
I had an interesting discussion. This is such a segue, but like I had an interesting discussion recently about kind of how there's actually one popular Hollywood archetype that is picked, and all of the Hollywood actors kind of try to emulate that look for a season. And it's just such a interesting insight. Like I think Kim Kardashian was one for a while, and now it's Emily Ratajkowski. They try and like to copy the look. They'll get little adjustments and enhancements to emulate that. And Dean, I think you're right. That scene probably really inspired that look.
Yeah.
Just like people
Probably.
chasing that kind of body.
Speaking of Ryan Reynolds, Georgie, you wanted to talk about his magnum opus, really, and what's defined his career up to this point. Yeah. Essentially.
Imagine how it turned it around hard.
So hard.
That was crazy, man. Made everything. But Ryan Reynolds is, for me, exactly what you were mentioning before we shot about Jason Momoa whenever he's in a film. He's just Jason Momoa. You know? Like,
Mahalo, Jay.
He's just always like, yeah. And I'm living my Jason Momoa life right now with my hair, dude.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
I had my, I just, always just like, yeah. Like, I feel like I'm gonna, just drop a line about, getting my surf on or whatever. You know, like, rock climbing, surfing. I'm Hawaiian, bro.
I'm Hawaiian, bro.
I mean, just,
I love that.
All that, Jason Momoa isms. I think Ryan Reynolds has that as well, that he does very Ryan Reynolds things.
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
Like in Free Guy and Deadpool, even in Bibo's guilty pleasure #1 favorite film that he doesn't want to say he likes more than Dark Knight, which is Green Lantern. Just Bibo's favorite superhero is Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Let's not get
Ryan
into
Reynolds,
that.
Ryan Reynolds in Green Lantern was still pretty Ryan Reynolds about it.
Yeah.
But for Deadpool, it just worked so much. And I love Ryan Reynolds. I love everything about Deadpool, man. Like how it totally proved the point I was trying to make, that you don't have to make things PG to make them successful. Like, you can find your audience not limiting yourself to PG. I think there's a long time where superhero movies were kind of going on that very Disney route. The same route WWE went, Bibo, which kind of started its downfall, going away from Attitude slowly into that PG era. I was just so much about, hey, you know what? There is an audience for R-rated superhero movies. And Deadpool just hit it perfectly. They did Colossus perfectly.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, man, everything they did with their budget, just the way they pulled it off, what they made fun of. I was just living for it, and that's my memory of seeing Deadpool. I was like, Jesus, this is a film that just absolutely stuck it to the industry, and just showed that. And I live for that. I live for that when execs who don't know anything about how to please a fandom just think about how are we going to make the most money, and a movie comes up that makes more money than them, just being exactly what the fans wanted. That always means so much to me to see. So that's why Deadpool climbed its way all the way to 4 for me. Because I love Deadpool, and my memories of watching it the first time. And I'm not even the biggest Deadpool guy. In fact, I find all of the Deadpool cosplayers, it's come on, dude. This is pretty one trick already. It's kind of, and it's definitely gets a little cringy at times. Yeah. No offense if you're watching this and you're a Deadpool cosplayer, but sometimes it's you're all trying to do the same stuff, and but Deadpool the movie and what Ryan Reynolds did with it, just absolutely amazing. What do you guys think of Deadpool?
I have to say that what is so amazing to me about Deadpool is that it's so easy to screw up. Can you imagine the pitch for that movie?
They already did screw it up.
I don't know.
With the same actor.
I don't know. I think you could screw it up a lot worse than that.
Then Wolverine Origins?
Oh, you're talking about that.
Yeah, Wolverine Origins,
Yeah, that's absolutely true. No, but not even the concept of Deadpool and his powers. I mean, just the idea of a movie where the main character is the comic relief and everything is a joke to that character could so easily go down the drain. If someone pitched that to me, I'd be like, I don't have the power to do that. You need a team of excellent comedians,
geniuses,
to make that happen.
You know what I think you're driving at, Dean, and I think a good example of this is because the thing that works so well for Deadpool is its irreverence, right? And how it's really just and he the way he eases you into it at the start too. I thought this was a Valentine's movie, and he's stabbing some guy. So great. The irreverence is done so well and so tastefully, ironically.
Yes.
Right? The exact opposite of, I don't know if you guys saw it, but the recent new Mortal Kombat movie, which was just...
I did see it.
Oh my
I saw
God.
it as well.
I did see it.
I wanted to bleach my soul after seeing that. It was just
It's such a shame,
so
man.
strange.
we were talking about so bad it's good. It's so bad, it's bad. Like
Yeah.
appealing to like
Yeah.
the edgelords and like no narrative like flow to speak of. It's just things
Yeah.
just happen. It was just garbage, and I think that's Deadpool done wrong. Especially,
Yeah,
I was
especially
just so confused. Why would you bring you bring a franchise like Mortal Kombat to bring in the audience of Mortal Kombat who want to see their favorite characters?
you
brought
make
to
a new
life?
character.
Yes.
You make a new character.
And at first
And
I was like,
you make him take up like 80% of the screen time. I don't freaking understand. That's not why people are watching Mortal Kombat.
And it was,
and
and,
it's-
you know,
Oh
yeah.
my god, it's
it's really sad. Like this is something that was bringing up in a previous episode where I was like, "There's no reason why you can't make a good video game movie." Like, look, Mortal Kombat is not. It's not high art, right? But it has an appeal, and it's a pretty basic appeal. You know,
Yeah.
people just want ninjas fighting each other very, very
Put
violently.
Mortal Kombat in the guy you just mentioned, Dean. Put it in Guillermo del Toro's hands. He's gonna
Exactly.
make the shit out of that movie.
Exactly.
It'll be so self-aware. It'll be so like, fuck you, we're fucking each other up. Like that's it. Instead, they did the most generic, most. Oh, God,
Yeah.
it was so bad.
So like, I don't want to say trite because that term
It's
is
not
in itself
Joker,
becoming.
Dean. It's not Joker.
Oh my god! but like, yeah, just it's quite sad because I can tell that the guys behind that Mortal Kombat, and we're getting off topic again, but the guys who made that Mortal Kombat movie, I can tell that they're not the most experienced filmmakers, and this was a big deal for them. And my question is, why are you throwing people like them under the bus? Warner Brothers or whoever was the distributor, New Line or whatever. When there are perfectly good people that would absolutely do it justice if you just let go of this notion that you have to pay the hungriest, cheapest person to do your video game movie, which is what they do time and time and time again. And I feel sorry for these guys. I feel sorry for the director of Ratchet and Clank because, the only movie he did before that was like, I can't even remember the name of that movie. It was very low budget. It was like a dog detective movie or something like that. It was like a kid's movie. And it's like, that person is not ready to take on a Pixar level
No.
production, which is
You're right.
exactly what Ratchet and Clank should have been. You know what I mean?
Right,
Because
right.
that's the standards that the PS4, that the PlayStation franchise. Anyway, we're getting off topic. I'm ranting.
Okay, you know what? Before we
And we're already past the hour,
Sorry.
so
You know what? Before
Just
before
not-
you bring us home, George, and I think I think we should end on talking the common ones at the top of our list, obviously. Real
Yeah.
quickly, Batman, you have it at number 2, Dean. I have it
Yeah.
at number 6, above some really beloved movies of mine, just because of how iconic it is. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. That's just
Yeah.
that's it.
Oh, the music.
The
Yep.
Batmobile.
The music.
it's right up there for me
Yeah.
in that range of all these great movies.
The Batmobile, freaking Jack himself, that's
Yeah,
just
Jack Nicholson.
it's timeless. It's classic. And Man of Steel and Zack Snyder's Justice League. I said I there's a specific reason why I love Man of Steel, and then by extension its true sequel, Zack Snyder's Justice League, so much. It's just when Man of Steel came out, I was just so hungry for a Superman project, anything that exhibited a quality that is like going off of what you were saying, kanina, Dean. It's a bit trite to mention to use this qualifier now for any type of media, but I needed a Superman story that exhibited a very good degree of verisimilitude. And to me, Man of Steel accomplishes that so much. It's as naturalistic to a fault, maybe, for a lot of people, but that's why I love it. You follow
I
the
love
thread.
the style.
Yeah. You follow the thread of what would Superman be in today's world. That's it. Like, that interests me so much. Like, Superman doesn't have to fit something so religiously to me for it to be Superman. It just needs to be the story, the archetype, and then What changes, redefines him is the times that he's in. I love the trailer for it.
Yeah.
It's also a little
trailer.
pseudo intellectual, which is why a lot of people hate it so much, right? And I recognize that. I recognize that Zack Snyder will present you with an idea and go, what do you think? Because that's how the first trailer for Man of Steel ended. Henry goes, my father believed that if mankind found out who I truly was, they'd reject me. He said they were not ready. What do you think?
Yeah.
And 23-year-old Bibo was like, what do I think? What do I think? What do I think? So that's why I love it so much. And then ZSJL is just the culmination of that idea and that approach to the idea of a Superman. So it's those two are so high up for me. Zack Snyder's Justice League is my third favorite non-MCU live action superhero movie. So yeah.
I want to go off that and take a moment to just appreciate how handsome Henry Cavill is.
I thought you were going to say how the project came to be.
No. I just want to appreciate because, the standards for men were so, very thin-faced. And Henry Cavill has these, very classic, comic book, thick, blocky features. And Dean, I think we talked about this on one of our walks. And Henry Cavill just really has a face that he could, and Dean, I think you were saying this, he could play Bruce Wayne. Mm-hmm. He could play Hal Jordan. He could play most of these DC men because of just the way his face is shaped. He's really a really handsome dude, and I just want to take an opportunity to say, Henry Cavill, King of the Nerds, big shout out. I love that guy. I love how he talks about Warhammer. I love how he's gone from playing the lead of one of Bibo's favorite properties into playing the lead of one of Bibo's least favorite properties. And I just love how, to me, he kills it at both.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Henry Cavill is just my shout out. What a gentleman. What a gentleman.
All right, Logan and the Dark Knight, high up there on our list.
You know what? Actually, I would love, because what are we at now? Let's be real.
We have 10 minutes. We have 10 minutes.
We have 10 minutes, so I'm just gonna set the tone already for this. What I want to be able to achieve in these 10 minutes is maybe quickly, Dean, talk about Mask of Zorro, because I think that's I really made this topic to focus less on the movies that everybody loves, like Dark Knight Logan, and more about the weird off-topic ones. But Dean, bring in Mask of Zorro, and then we can talk briefly about Logan and Dark Knight, and then end it right after that.
Mask of Zorro is really simple to me, man. It is everything that you want from a pulp adventure movie. The reason that Zorro was originally invented is the reason that the movie Mask of Zorro exists, and it hits every single point. You can't get mad at a movie like that. You can't bring in cliche or anything like that anymore, because it knows what it's trying to be, and it's paying homage to, the serials of the 20s and the 40s and all those amazing black and white swashbuckling, romantic, action series. Oh, it's just so brilliant how it brings it to the 20th century because it was a 90s film and didn't bring it up to date. It's a movie that is absolutely set in the 1800s. But it is portrayed like a movie from the early 20th century, just in color. And I'm a really big fan of classic cinema as well. So I just love that about it,
Beautifully said.
And yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna watch it tomorrow.
You gotta.
I'm gonna watch it tomorrow.
It holds up. I'm
so
telling
excited.
you guys.
I forget how much I love that movie.
Yeah.
You bring it up. I miss that.
Legend of Zorro is a turd, but Mask of Zorro.
Nope. Mask of Zorro.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's go into Logan and Dark Knight and close it out there.
The one thing I'll say about Logan is my best friend Mikey. When he saw it, he was just like, "Saw it," and I wanted to punch him. I was
He said, "I."
He was like, "Saw it." I'm like, "Fuck you!" No.
My God.
My favorite memory about Logan is when my dad and I saw it the first time. It was one of those moments. It was really silent. The movie had just ended. My dad and I looked at each other and we were like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
when you just there's not much has to be said, but you're like, God damn, they did it, like what a masterpiece.
Really.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And a little, I think outside of our circles, a little unheralded as far as being just, the pinnacle of superhero cinema. I don't know. What do you guys think?
It's one of those things where, go George.
No, sorry. I'll be really quick. I'll just give my least favorite thing about it and my favorite thing about it. Or I'll start with my favorite thing about it. My favorite thing about it, and what more can be said other than it closes the chapter on one of the most amazing casting stories of superhero history.
Right.
Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. And what a movie to close his book on, right? That's like, if you wanted to close your storied performance of this character, that's the way to do it.
Yes.
What my least favorite thing about it is the exact same note that now that he's closed it, if you ever see something that you really want to see, like maybe Wolverine show up in a Deadpool movie.
Yeah.
Or Ryan Reynolds and Wolverine doing like a spin-off movie of just the two of them and like something between them, which would be perfect.
Yeah.
The fact that Logan exists means that, oh man, but anything you do past this just won't end and hit that same note.
Yeah. Right. It will either devalue it or having somebody else there would also not feel, it might not feel.
Right.
And Tim Patrick was so amazing.
Tim Patrick. What a guy. What a guy, Tim Patrick.
Sir Tim Patrick.
Sir Tim Patrick. No, okay, but that's all I'm going to say. Just like that. Yeah. And I think that's just how I look at it. But everything you guys are going to say, I know I'm just going to mirror and feel exactly. But Dean, go ahead.
I mean, I think the reason that we don't hear about it so much outside of our circles is because it's a given. It's like The Dark Knight. You don't hear about The Dark Knight anymore because it's a given. It's just good. You know what I mean? It's just the way that I look at it is not like a superhero movie anymore. And you can, I don't know if that's a qualifier for making a good superhero movie because
I hear you. Yeah.
I don't know if that's really a qualifier, but that's how I see The Dark Knight as well, because I don't think of The Dark Knight as a superhero movie. I think of it as a crime thriller that people dress up in costumes and it feels justified, and Logan, they don't even dress up in costumes. It's just a character study about somebody who's coming to terms with death. Yeah. And to say that
so good
about Hugh Jackman's Wolverine is so gratifying.
Yeah. I'm going to cry just thinking about it.
After that roller coaster of what he's been through as the character, you know what I mean? So it's a brilliant character study, and it's a brilliant it's so easy for everybody to come to that conclusion. Okay, what kind of character? It's sort of like Man of Steel. It's like, what kind of character do I need to say something about death? And obviously, the obvious answer is a character that's usually immortal, that's coming to terms with death for the first time.
Right.
It's the same with Man of Steel. Who do I get to come to terms with what people will see as in a Messiah figure today? And that is a Messiah sort of figure, and Superman fits that storyline so well. It's not that this is a Wolverine movie.
Yeah.
It's not just that this is a Wolverine movie, though it absolutely is, about death. This is a movie about somebody coming to death starring Wolverine. And it's just like how Man of Steel is about... Yes. Man of Steel is about a Messiah in a modern world starring Superman. And I just think it was brilliant for them to go in that direction. So brave because, obviously there's somebody in the studio there who's making the decisions like X3 and X-Men Origins Wolverine and Dark Phoenix, where they want the same things in all of these movies. And somehow they broke out of that and it paid off. It's just an amazing achievement in my opinion.
What else can I say than that, right? That's beautifully said. Thank you so much for saying that. That was such a good way to put it, in chasing death in that. You know what? For the sake of time, Bibo, we're running out, right?
Yeah.
That's...
Well, we got like 2 minutes.
2 minutes, which I think everybody knows our thoughts on The Dark Knight. I think I don't think it's something we even have to discuss about, like how much we love that movie, what we think.
Quickfire, I will say,
you probably have it as your top.
I will say, my expectations for anything, not just the movie, anything have never been so astronomically sky high, and never have they been so astronomically met and exceeded. And 18-year-old Bibo coming out of the cinema in Shangri-La after seeing The Dark Knight for the first time was like, how are they going to top this? They're never going to top this. And that was one of the few things that 18-year-old Bibo was correct about, because the sequel did not, and nothing since has, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There you go.
All right.
I
totally agree.
I agree with you as well, and I have exactly 1 minute and 30 seconds to do this, so I'm going to just end it on a note that's saying that the aircon hits the window of my room and bounces on my eyes. That's why I'm blinking so much. I'm really trying not to blink, but it's like I have been trying, and I'm conscious of it. It's 100% that I am not going crazy. I'm blinking because the aircon is hitting my eyes. I'm going to end it there. And I will start off by saying that is our BetaBeard list. Next episode, we have a few more exciting topics for you, but as always, we'll reveal it in the beginning of the episode. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Thank you for any likes. If you did like the video, please like, share, and subscribe with anyone you might think might want to hang out with the Beta Bros. As well as please leave in the comments what your top 10 list of non-MCU superhero live-action movies are. We'd love to see it. And yeah, on that note, Bibo, Dean, as always, a pleasure. To the rest of you, BetaBeard out. Roll that theme song.